Armenia has got such a reputation for excellence on the rings. Artur Avetisyan, 24, like his teammate Vahagn from Yerevan. Unlike his teammates, he's 10 years younger. Very heavily taped up is the reigning World Universities champion. He won the title in 2019. And the reigning Commonwealth Games champion, two-time champion, no less, Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain. He also won a silver medal at the European Championships. Set to be a fantastic final. And as I'm sure many of you know, it can come down to the finest of margins in a rings competition. One of the great cliches of gymnastics is that we only ever talk about the dismount. It's something that, as we have a look at the series champion in World Cup competition on the rings this year, Vahagn Davtyan, we're all aware that gymnastics broadcasters talk too much about landings as though the only thing that matters. However, when you get to a rings final, it very often can come down to who sticks their dismount.
In this apparatus final, however, we will see quite a bit of difference in the difficulty scores of the gymnasts. You have gymnasts like You Hao who are up at 6.5, and then you have gymnasts who are doing significantly lower difficulty routines.
Let's find out how it all unfolds. Get ready to enjoy the rings final. Artur Avetisyan of Armenia, the 24-year-old debutant at the World Championships. But he won the World Universities title in 2019, beating Ibrahim Cholak 3 months before he became the world champion. This gentleman is very good.
All strength positions on the rings must be held for a minimum of 2 seconds in order to receive credit for the difficulty. Nice Jonasson to Maltese cross. Very cleanly defined planche position. And a swing to handstand hold is also a requirement.
There will be more difficult routines performed in this final, but in terms of the clarity of his display, that's excellent from Artur Avetisyan of Armenia. He's a real scholar of the sport, has a degree in coaching from the Armenian State Institute of Physical Culture and Sport. He works with some terrific specialists on this piece.
You're right, Ollie. It was simply a clean and beautiful display.
The straightness of that Maltese position is wonderful.
Perfectly parallel to the ground. It's exactly the way that you want to do it. And maybe on still rings, commentators do tend to emphasize the dismount and the landing too much, but that was just spectacular.
I think he's emphasized his own landing there, hasn't he, with that display? 14.466 in qualification. He had the joint highest execution score in the qualification campaign. Might well be something similar here. That's better. 14.6 and 8.6 for execution, and he's managed to find a single tenth of difficulty to add as well. Strong start that from Artur Avetisyan. Here is one of the great still rings performers of the season, Vahagn Davtyan. The 34-year-old is the reigning World Cup champion. He's demonstrated superb consistency, and he has been twice a European Championship silver medalist. The 5th strongest in qualification. One of his coaches is actually Artur Avetisyan, who has just won a medal on the pommel horse.
Iron cross and flares his fingers out. A slight struggle on the handstand before the Jonasson to Maltese drops into another iron cross.
And he also manages to stick his dismount. There are very few gymnasts out there who will study their own performance as carefully as him. He said coming into these championships, he'd worked out where he could add 2/10 of execution if he was really attentive. He's chosen not to focus on increasing his difficulty because he is prizing the cleanliness of his work.
The devil was not in the difficulty in this performance. Positions like this, his planche were incredibly secure. The only place where he really lost execution deductions were in those 2 handstands. His dismount is a fully extended, full twisting double layout. You might say that his chest is slightly low, but he does stick it.
He's just recently completed his first year as the head of Sports and Youth Affairs Department for Yerevan Municipality. It's not a ceremonial role. He's very actively involved in trying to improve conditions in state schools when it comes to sports facilities. Takes up a lot of his time. He's very determined to make his mark on the lives of future athletes, not just gymnasts, but all school children. What sort of mark has he made on this final? Quite a weight for this number. .533, he's coming just behind Artur Avetisyan. And already we have an indication of how close this rings final might be.
Representing the People's Republic of China, You Hao.
So You Hao from the People's Republic of China, the 30-year-old from the East Coast in Jiangsu province, the silver medalist at the Olympic Games. And part of the gold medal winning team at these World Championships. He was the world champion the last time that the World Championships were in the UK in Glasgow in 2015. What a start.
A pull up to an amazing inverted cross. A very nice Maltese as well. When it comes to the swinging elements in this routine, we are likely to see a different style going backwards, whereas most of the gymnasts go forwards. That draws oohs from the crowd. And there's the Jonassen to a forward roll to iron cross. His dismount is supremely difficult. Double twisting, double layout.
He has a massive adjustment as he lands. You Hao from the People's Republic of China. It was the most complicated routine in qualification, 6.5 the difficulty score. And quite a lot will come off the dismount because of that very large lunge backwards.
His strength positions are excellent, and you see the effort that he expends, especially in the slow-mo. Now, on the dismount, because the step back is wider than the width of his shoulders, he is going to lose more than he would if he had just taken a slight step or hop. The best estimate would be 3 to 5 tenths of a point in execution. And they could probably call that a 2-step deduction.
Such a superb record in international competition this veteran performer has had. 6 World Championship medals, a full set of colours twice over. The leading score is 14.6. And his is also 14.6. The difficulty, 6.7. That is 7 tenths higher than Artur Avetisyan. But Avetisyan leads on the execution tiebreak, because it is how well you do what you do, not how much you do, that determines the lead. Well, we thought this might be a very close final. Now the gymnast from Turkey, Adem Asil. The joint second strongest in qualification. You just need to look back at him at the World Championships in 2017 to see how he has transformed. He did it himself recently. He couldn't believe the gymnast he saw when looking back at that footage when he was competing for Egypt.
He qualified for the all-around final here, but did not compete in it. He opted to focus for apparatus finals. And so far, he has turned in a most focused performance on the still rings.
Oh, what a reaction. Oh, what a performance. And oh, what emotion from Adem Asil. And the flag that flies behind them is the flag of his new home. His very surname, his adopted surname, evidence of the loyalty he feels to Turkey, the Turkish people, and to the Turkish gymnastics team. This gentleman felt he was not treated seriously in his ambitions when he was a gymnast in Egypt. He felt he was laughed at when he wanted to become a champion of the world. The Turkish team has embraced him, and they've helped change him, but his own attitude has helped change him and bring him to this level.
He's shown so much potential, particularly on the still rings over the last few years. He has not always been consistent, but everyone has always believed that he was capable of giving a performance like this. Today, his day has come.
After the stillness, the storm. That absolute torrent of emotion that came out of Adem Asil. He's got to go into the lead, surely, with this display. He's gone well into the lead. 14.933. And we may have just seen the performance that wins the World Championship title. He thumps his chest and he thumps the flag. Artur Avetisyan goes into second place. The quality of that performance from Adem Asil. He shakes his head as if barely able to comprehend it. He's at the top of the standings. He's got so many medals from so many events, but not World Championships. So rarely do you see him break into a smile on the competition floor because of his intense level of focus. He's an incredibly bright individual, isn't he, Adem Asil? Speaks half a dozen languages fluently. Well, we now make our way to the second half of the competition. We've just had Zou Jingyuan warming up, now Courtney Tulloch. The highest number from all of these qualifiers was Courtney Tulloch's 14.66. Things have been changed greatly by Adem Asil's 14.933. There is a wonderful gymnast on the rings, Donnell Whittenburg, the Wisconsin-based gymnast. Owner of 2 World Championship medals, as is Kamoto Yuya. They'll get quite a big reception. Gadirovas have been at the heart of the British team's success at these World Championships. British team, the only team in both men's and women's competition to qualify for the Olympic Games. A remarkable World Championships for the host nation. Jessica Gadirova taking the all-around bronze medal. He's absolutely part of that team, isn't he, Adem Asil? He's been so welcomed into the Turkish team. I mean, you would welcome a gymnast of his kind of quality, but it was so quick, so seamlessly that he slotted into that team. And it was a tightly knit team already by the time that he arrived.
They have completely embraced him. He says that he and his teammates go on vacation together with their girlfriends. They are truly friends.
Well, the Turkish team really could use a vacation after these championships are over. They've worked hard. Zou Jingyuan from the People's Republic of China is the 5th to compete in the men's rings final. He was a silver medalist at the national championships in September, scored 14.66 in qualification.
And what he may be about to display, he does. This is his own original element. From an inverted cross, lowering slowly to an inverted hang, and then holding the V cross for 2 seconds. He is one of 2 gymnasts at these World Championships to have created an element. And if he has performed it correctly, it will be named for him in the men's code of points.
A little shake of the head after a step forward from Zou Jingyuan from the People's Republic of China. That's an innovation displayed in his rings routine. The 24-year-old from Yibin in the south-central region of China. A city that has grown enormously, had a population of 50,000 in 1907. It now has 5 million people. And he's one of the most famous ones.
Here's a look at the end of the original skill, bringing his legs to his head and holding that for the requisite 2 seconds. He said that he feels this type of element where the strength holds are really quite combined is the way of the future on still rings. And you picked up on it right away, Ollie. The rueful shake of the head after the step on the double twisting double tuck. He realizes what is at stake when you take a step.
How rare that somebody excels on rings and parallel bars. Such a different skill set and such a good score. 14.866, just behind Adem Asil, whose reaction is one of a gentleman who realizes that that's one of his major competitors, who's just slotted in beneath him. Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain, the top qualifier with the score of 14.66. That has been surpassed twice already in this final. He is the reigning 2-time Commonwealth Games rings champion.
Courtney Tulloch is proving that he can contend with the best of them on still rings. He proved it in the qualification, and he's doing so again now. His dismount should be a full twisting double layout. It is.
Brilliant from Courtney Tulloch of Great Britain. An outstanding display in this World Championship final. He was the top qualifier. The others before said, you must raise your game. He nodded his head and said, right then, I'll raise it. The quality of this rings final, the improvement from qualification that we've seen in many quarters. This, one of the best performances that I think many will be able to remember of Courtney Tulloch's. It was smooth.
And it was beautifully polished, too. The Jonassen right to handstand.
Such a nice level line with the shoulders.
Excellent Maltese. And those 2 iron crosses late in the routine.
Sometimes the dismount has seen him take an adjustment, but not on this occasion. He knew straight away, didn't he? That was high quality.
If memory serves, he had a small hop on his dismount in the qualification round.
Asil leads, then Zou, then Avetisyan. But Courtney Tulloch has gone into 3rd place, 14.733. His execution is up from qualification, and with 2 to go, he's in bronze medal position. And it means that Adem Asil has just won a World Championship medal on the rings. Kamoto Yuya from Japan, 28-year-old who calls Tokyo home. It's just his 2nd World Championships. But way back at the first Youth Olympic Games in Singapore in 2010, he was a silver medalist on the rings. We've seen him re-emerge lately as a top quality international gymnast. It's been great to see. He was the 6th best performer in qualification with a score of 14.5.
Inverted cross, immediate swing to handstand. And the same swinging element backwards that we saw from You Hao. Jonassen cleanly to handstand. And giant double twisting double layout.
Such a welcome re-addition to this Japanese squad, Kamoto Yuya. A team silver medal after taking bronze in 2019. Maybe slightly priced out of the market in terms of this final, but he's given a very fine account of his gymnastics here in Liverpool.
It's been lovely to see him thrive at this World Championships.
14.466 for Kamoto Yuya in 7th position. Very credible display nonetheless, very close to qualification too. He's now won at least a silver medal. He tapped the Turkish flag on his chest yet again. Donnell Whittenburg of the United States of America, the last to go, the 8th strongest in qualification with a score of 14.333. He needs a jump of over 4/10 to get onto the podium.
A lovely front swinging sequence directly to Maltese. Planche. Cheered on by his teammates every step of the way.
And so the rings final concludes. Donnell Whittenburg of the United States of America, the last gymnast.
Second Maltese, just a little bit, and then the landing.
He's already twice been a World Championship medalist. A team bronze in 2014 and a vault bronze medal in 2015. Shows extraordinary strength when he opens up the hands. Very few do that with the conviction with which he does.
And his dismount, the double twisting, double layout, really the hardest dismount that we've seen in this world final on the still rings.
As Donnell Whittenburg managed to get onto the podium, it's 14.433 for him. Years ago, a 17-year-old Adem Asil, though that was not his name then, told the Egyptian Gymnastics Federation that he wanted to be champion of the world. They laughed. He packed his bags. He left Alexandria to find somebody who believed in him. He found home in Turkey, in one of the tightest knit squads in gymnastics. They welcomed him as a brother, as a friend, as one of the team. Who's laughing now? Who's laughing now? Courtney Tulloch takes the bronze medal. Zou Jingyuan, the silver medalist. But it is the gymnast from Turkey, Adem Asil. He drapes himself in that flag, and just as Turkey as a nation has wrapped its arms around him, he finds warmth symbolically in its colours. He is one of their own, and he is their second ever world champion. The classified results in the men's rings final. The bronze medal to Great Britain's Courtney Tulloch. The silver medal to Zou Jingyuan of the People's Republic of China. And the world champion is Adem Asil of Turkey. The action may have come to a close at the M&S Bank Arena in Liverpool, but we have some victory ceremonies to bring your way. So do